You want to hone your craft. What do I mean by this? If you look at anyone that has done something great in their lives, think about like artists or musicians like Travis Barker. Right? I remember being at school and I used to listen to Blink 182. I used to be into punk rock. I used to be a drummer. Travis was someone I aspired. Like it was like I had a mohawk. I had a massive mohawk at school, shaved mohawk, like massively into punk. And Travis was like, I love Blink 182. So Travis being the drummer and me being a drummer, I felt massive connection to that. His backstory, just where he'd come from. But you could see, and if you look at any of his videos, like, and obviously where he's gone now in the world, and this is the point, you could see his dedication to his craft and his commitment. He was all in on drumming. And quite arguably now, he's probably one of the most famous and skilled drummers in the whole world. You know, the collaborations that he's doing across genres of music, the artists that are calling him in across like EDM, like dance, electronic, like punk, metal, like he goes across genres. And what my point is that when you have a deep dedication and commitment, the unwavering pursuit of excellence towards your craft, and you're doing it for that, not necessarily for what you'll become in terms of fame, fortune, riches, like it's inevitable that eventually, if you persist long enough, obviously if he had quit, if he'd have stopped, if things hadn't have gone a certain way, it wouldn't have worked. But he's persisted long enough over a 25-year period, and he's outperformed all the drummers, all the other in that circle, and his brand has taken him forward. And what is his brand? Really, it's the pure essence of just keep getting better every day. He's pouring himself into his craft. You can see that Travis is fully into drumming and fully into changing even how drumming is done, like changing up the kit, moving things different places, doing different beats that didn't even exist. So he's fully in creator mode. He's not necessarily, he's obviously probably got people that he aspired to be like or mentors, but he's now fully in himself and he's fully in his craft and he's just got better at that skill. So whatever it is that you do, and this is the through line that I want to pull back to, is that whatever you do, if you can just get better at that thing, the ability to do it, that's what the law of prosperity states. It's when you focus on your craft and you focus on the thing and you get better at doing the thing, you focus on your ability to do it, everything else magnifies. Like this is the piece, the kind of piece that springboards you up 10. It gives you a quantum leap. If you can become the best in the category, the best in the thing that you do, offering the best customer service or the best product or the best at marketing, all the other pieces can fall into place if you could just keep getting better. If you can just keep getting better. If you become a better writer, eventually people will talk about your work and it will spread on its own organically through word of mouth. And that flywheel becomes bigger because it started with your high quality work, with you becoming the best at what you do. So you don't in this world have to worry so much about how it will get out and the distribution of your message so much if you can get into the top of what you do. If you become great at what you do, you will outperform 99% of the people that are doing that thing. And so by default, you'll start to get more attention because you'll be so good, you'll be so far away from everyone else, you'll be an outlier, you'll be exceptional, you'll be extraordinary, that you'll be out here. And so to do that, you will get more attention. And because of whatever skill set, whatever craft it is you've done, if you persist long enough, hard enough, with enough commitment and dedication, you will by default attract that next layer, the people that you need to take you to the next layer, the specialist marketer that's like, hey, I'm seeing what you're doing and I would love to collaborate with you. I'd love to work with you because I can see where you're going. I can see the trajectory and I can see that you won't quit. And so the point of this is it's that belief in yourself. It's that belief in not quitting. It's that belief in extending the time horizon and looking a lot further out than you currently are. Not looking at the short term, like, okay, how many likes did this post get? Yeah, you want to look at the data and look at things like that. It's not about the now in terms of 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, year, 2 years. It's about 5 years, 10 years. Where will you be in a decade? And how good will you be in a decade? And who will you have got to meet? What opportunities will have come your way because you focused on getting better, on building the empire of you through your craft? And so people back that, right? If you're having fun along the way and you're very comfortable with, like, this is what I do, this is who I am, this is how I'm going, and this is my mission, and you're having fun, you're bringing people on that journey, you will get support. You will get people that will come in at the exact right time, and you'll be able to spot opportunities to move with that. And you should move on them, and you should have the courage to take your game bigger when you need to. Because those buses will come along, those trains will come along. You've got to jump on them when you want to take your game bigger and expand, and keep pushing to expand. But the one needle moving aspect that you can do is become better at what you do. And when you become better at what you do, you connect with more people. More people can hear your message. It spreads like wildfire through word of mouth. So think about anyone that you admire and think about why you admire them. Like, why is it that you think that person's so great? Is it the commitment to their craft? Is it what they've managed to achieve in either such a short space of time? Is it who they've become? I know that behind that is just more reps, more failures. Behind that is more experience. It may look like they've achieved something insane in a year or two, but it came with 5 years or 10 years dedicated at their craft, failing. 5 years of failing to get that 1 year that changed everything. And all the media does is focus on that 1 year. It might look like their Instagram channel just blew up, or they came out of nowhere and blew up, their brand got so big. But really there's a backstory of a decade of failure and hard knocks and experience and boring things that when they're in the routine, they're practicing and they're creating and they're overcoming their own desire to quit, and they can stick with it longer than everyone else, because no one is different. Everyone has 24 hours. Everyone gets feelings of, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to go back to the drawing board. I don't want to rework the ideas. I don't want to practice my craft. I don't want to hone my skills. Everyone has that. But it's the people that are able to persist in the doing longer than everyone else that get to the top, that become the best at what they do. By default, it's not just 10,000 hours. It's a commitment to becoming world class. It's a commitment to yourself that this is who you are, and you're going to keep getting better daily. You're going to seek mentorship from people that are further along than you. Seek mentorship for them and still commit and go in and do the work. Anyone that has done anything great, Lewis Hamilton, the amount of training he would do to become an F1 driver, like, it's a constant commitment to getting better. It doesn't matter which field you choose. You can see the people that have committed to their craft and they're all in. It's who they are. They're all in. And that commitment to your craft will help you grow. And it's being okay to fail. So what does that mean? It means everything you do at first will suck. Everything. Your first book will suck. Your first write of the manuscript will suck. Your first words will suck. Like, your first video will suck. Your first podcast will suck. Your first interview will suck. Your first product will suck. Like, the first interaction with a customer will suck. The first time you run an event will suck. Like, all of these things will suck. But you know that in doing it, you're learning. And in doing it, you can iterate and get better. And when you iterate and keep getting better in gradual increments, you start to not suck. You start to be able to nail a podcast, to ask the right questions, to elicit deep information that's within someone's consciousness from a guest that you know it has the capacity to blow up your show. And instead of getting nervous and asking them boring, obvious questions that everyone asks, you go off left of field and ask them what you really want to ask. And then you get an answer that surprises you and it lights up the room and you become comfortable. And as a podcast, you can facilitate that environment where they feel comfortable to share, and you have this really great exchange, and the camera's capturing it all and the audience can feel like they're actually there, and they get so much value from it because you've been able to unlock those deep insights from this guest. And it happens because you went through 50 times of recording a podcast with people that sucked, where you were nervous, where you didn't know the questions to ask, and you did feel self-conscious, and you felt worried that how were you going to come across on camera, instead of actually, I'm here to serve and grow and learn. And so just go through the suck, Go through it 50 times, go through it 100 times, go through it 1,000 times. You're going to become awesome at what you do. And in becoming awesome, the opportunities are plenty. It's almost like this. And at the bottom, it feels like there's no opportunities, no one will help you. And then as you go up through not sucking, through sucking and then becoming better, and sucking and becoming better, and getting more experience and growth and change. As you go up, when you get up here, all the opportunities are here. So then you have the problem, we'll talk about this in a bit, but like you have all the opportunities up here. So you can then people start throwing things that you could only have dreamed at you. Like, do you want to partner with this person? Or this person's going to do this for you? Or like, should we go here and film this? Or should we go there and do that? Should we go there and open that location? Like all of these opportunities exist up here. And down here, very few. And the only thing you can do is focus on getting better. That's what gets you up the slope, the mountain. And when you start to get to here, then you start to make big leaps and you can get up the mountain a lot quicker and you can take different routes. But you've got the experience that you built down here to then put into play up here. So you've got all of this learning and then suddenly you start to make different connections and leaps and then you start to summit. And it feels like everything's like for you and you're like, I've done it, like this is great. But this piece is where you did a lot of the learning and growth. You break through and expand yourself to become a whole new version of you that's capable of sticking with hard things, of doing things that are just repetitive. And just that's why they're difficult. They're repetitive because we want to look for distraction. We want to pick up the iPhone and scroll social media. We want to watch YouTube and not focus on the business plan that we've got to do, or taking action and making 50 calls in this hour, or getting our first client, or pitching our first VC, or doing the hard work. And what does hard look like? Well, it looks like doing these things that are just tedious and boring time and time again every single day with no external reward for success. And yet you have to give yourself a reward of, I did another day, I crushed it, we made an impact. And you actually just move from here to here up the mountain. And as you get up here, there's all this opportunity. The byproduct of that problem is that when there's so much opportunity, you have to be very discerning in what you take on, because you've got only so much time and different opportunities are going to take you in different ways. So how do you cope with everybody wanting everything from you? And how do you schedule that? Well, you have to get the right people around you. You have to outsource and basically create time and then fill that time with your growth. So put back in your growth and time for you to keep growing, because if you stop growing, you'll actually fall back down the mountain and you won't progress. So you won't become the person that actually got you to the top of the mountain. So you want to make sure that you create space, you choose the right opportunities, you need a good team around you, you need to start outsourcing different tasks that you would normally have done. Down here, you start outsourcing tasks because you have the resources to do that. You get good people around you, that's how you jump, and you make sure you focus on your craft. And you never lose that window where you're focusing on your craft. That's the key. You still focus on your craft because you still need to grow, you still need to learn, you still need to pursue. And like Travis Barker, I'm pointing up there because I don't think you can see it, but there's a signed photo from Blink-182 back in the day when I was at Leeds and Reading Festival, back in the day in the mosh pit, got this photo, jumped over the barriers, went and got it signed by the band, like insane. Anyway, it's up there. Travis Barker, he's still creating his craft, he's still innovating in what drumming looks like, right? He's still moving the needle in his sphere. And that's what you need to get even when you get up to this top stage of the mountain. That's my message today, and I hope it helps.